Rachel is in court to claim £80 for the cost to repair her mobile phone, which she says her friend damaged. Defendant Ben says as his offer to pay was declined and he has helped Rachel out in the past, he owes nothing.
What's his dance moves? You must have had an idea of them before. So I'm going to have to ask you, because she would have had to have been aware of the potential risks before she got on the dance floor. What's your moves? If you're drunk, do you wave your arms about?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, let's see.
It's kind of like this, but obviously, like, you've got music, so it's a bit faster.
Is it more wild?
It depends on the song. Like...
Is it more wild? Well, that's what I'm getting at. Is it more wild?
Yeah.
Give me a sense of your most wild dance move. And I really do... It has to be wild.
I don't think it's suitable for...
No, trust me. I'll be the judge of everything. I want a suitable dance move.
It would be like the jumping up and down and then the, like just kind of getting closer and... I don't know.
Understood. Now, the point was, as he was doing this jumping up and down and moving things around, one of the things you decided to do, perfectly understandable, which you had done before, was to take out your phone, correct?
Yeah.
I presume Ben was not the only other person on the dance floor.
Correct.
The phone ends up out of your hands, correct? Does his finger end up touching the phone, which results the phone being on the floor?
No.
Right, well, how did it end up on the floor?
Well, he was, say, I have my hand up here taking my selfies, as you do, and he comes up next to me, doing his grinding, and as I'm taking the selfie, his arm knocks my arm, and I lose...
Drops on the floor, it's smashed,
Yeah.
it's very expensive. Now, you do something very interesting, Ben, and this is why I've agreed to take this case, because it's a similar thing that sometimes people do at car accidents. You're a little drunk, and once it's picked up from the floor and you can see the result of it, I shall look at in a minute, you say something, and it's perfectly understandable. What did you say, Ben?
I offered to help her pay to get the phone repaired.
Absolutely. In other words, you knocked into her and you thought, goodness me, I've clearly knocked into her, which has caused a chain reaction. She's dropped it on the floor. I feel bad. I'll offer to pay to repair it, correct?
Correct.
And you apologised. That's true, isn't it? He absolutely said that.
Yeah.
That's understandable. And considering you were drunk, it was a perfectly generous thing to do. Now, Rachel, let's see what happened to the phone. Can you get it, Michelle? Thank you.
There we go. Thank you.
Not good, I think, is the technical term for this. Now, the next day, after sobering up, you woke up, you got home, and did you expect Ben to pay for it?
I mean, no, because at the time, obviously, I was still working and I knew he was unemployed, so I thought, you know what, it doesn't matter, I can afford to pay for it, I'm not going to push him, it's not fair. And
then, as things evolved, you realised, after you lost your job as well, yet another victim of 0 hours contracts, I have a view, the reality was that you could no longer afford to pay it.
Yeah.
And so now you want the close to £100, £80, to repair this. I understand that, and part of your case, I assume that you rely upon the fact that Ben made a clear and categorical offer to pay for it and admitted liability at the scene. Is that correct? Understood. Now, Ben, in reply, you say a number of things. One of the things you say, amongst other things, is that you've driven her around from time to time, right? Petrol money, that sort of thing. You've never charged her for that, correct?
Yeah.
That's a nonsense reply. And I don't take it into account. However, I would like to give you a ruling, because it's an interesting case. Rachel, you went on the dance floor with your mobile phone, and what happened was Ben, doing his grinding, bumped into you, which resulted in the phone falling on the floor. He ultimately said, that's my fault and I will pay you for it. Now, just because somebody says that's my fault and I will pay for it, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are liable in law. If you say sorry, that's not the start and the end of the matter. It's some evidence, but by no stretch of the imagination does that create a situation where a court says, fair enough, it's your fault. The situation is here, you have to prove that he was negligent. In my judgment, when you took the phone out on a dance floor, you were aware of the risk that either him or somebody else dancing might bump into you, and as a result, your property might get damaged. For that reason, you're unable to prove that he's liable for the case, and therefore, I'm afraid to say, I dismiss your case. Now, that being said, it's an important case because it establishes the principle, and people should be aware of this, that just because another person says sorry or it's my fault, it does not necessarily mean that in law it is. Your case is dismissed, although I do suggest, sir, you're a bit more careful with your grinding. Understood? I'm going to give you your phone back so you can have it. Well, it's switched off. That's probably good. How much is it going to be to cost to repair?
£80.
Case dismissed. Thanks.
Rachel's case was dismissed and she was awarded nothing by the court.